What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for this video because I don't know, something about this video just gets me super duper excited. I'm going to share some tips that have helped me thrift and find gems. I'm gonna give you guys some genius tips if you are a beginner to thrifting, and if you're not a beginner to thrifting but you find yourself overwhelmed every time you walk into the thrift store. There's some things that you might not be doing that's making you overwhelmed and preventing you from finding really good gems. Let's get into it. First of all, get your coffee or your tea or whatever you're drinking this morning or whenever you're watching this video. Disclaimer, this coffee cup is also thrifted. I thrifted it for $1 at a local thrift store, and if you have a certain thing that you love to collect like me, mine is coffee cups. I love finding some cutie little gems, and honestly most of the coffee cups in my cabinet are thrifted. This for $1. How cute is it? So, cheers, and let's get started. My first recommendation for thrifting well and finding gems when you walk into the thrift store is going in with a plan. This looks like thinking about what you're looking for when you're walking into the thrift store. I know that may sound so out of pocket because you don't really know what you're looking for or what is in store when you go into the thrift store, but I think that that is so fun because you're on a treasure hunt. You have something in mind that you're looking for, and when you find it, you're like, oh my gosh, the stars aligned, I found this thing. Number two, this is probably gonna be a little bit less sustainable if you're a busy person, but I think a big factor into thrifting is checking the store frequently. For about a month straight, I was going in every single week, once a week, to all my local thrift stores just to check to see if they have anything new, because thrift stores are secondhand and there's only one of the item that you're getting. Things can move in and out very quickly, so it's very important that you maybe find out the days that they're putting out new stuff, that they're kind of getting rid of the old things, so that you know, hey, this is when they're putting out new stuff, so I'm gonna go on this day because I know that there's gonna be newer things there that I haven't seen and that I didn't see last week. When I started doing this, I started finding things that I wanted and needed because I was going on days where they would get new things in. This is also a very helpful tip, is shopping off season. You are going to find a lot of swimsuits, winter coats, jackets when things are not in season. People are cleaning out, they're decluttering, especially with spring, people are decluttering. So they're gonna be getting rid of a lot of their winter clothes and just winter items. So if clothes is what you're looking for some slow fashion items, I would go off season because that's when people are getting rid of their things and they're kind of detached mostly to the things that aren't in season. Number four, it's not a huge one, but it can really help out, is getting to know the store sales days. And there's a local thrift store in my area that does everything that is a red tag today is 50% off. So when you're shopping and you find something and it's got a red tag on it, it's 50% off, so it's a win-win situation. Number five, this one I don't necessarily think is a big one, and I don't necessarily practice it, but if you're going in with the intent of thrifting to find clothes, shop for clothes, I think that you should dress for trying things on. So wear something like leggings and something really comfortable that you can put on and off really easily, because with thrifting, it's really easy to pick up things and not try them on, and then you just wasted a bunch of money. Even though it wasn't a lot of money, you wasted a lot of money because you didn't try anything on, and now nothing fits, and now you're gonna be taking them back to the thrift store. I go in with the intent of buying clothes and I don't really try them on, and then it bites me in the butt because I can't wear them and they just don't fit right. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going in with the intent of trying on clothes, make sure that you dress for it, and I wouldn't spend loads amount of money which is like $20 total, if you haven't tried anything on, because it might not even fit you well. Number 6, this kind of goes along with number 7. 6 and 7 is check every aisle and take your time. We are so fast-paced as a society, so taking our time thrifting and checking every aisle, really, if we don't do that, it really hinders the whole treasure hunt theme and like finding gems. And a lot of times when I go into thrift stores and I'm rushed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm not really taking the time to look, that's when I don't really find anything, because I'm not taking the time. And there are some times when I go in and bam, I just find a gem because that's it. But most of the time, I need to take my time checking every aisle, because it's a thrift store, people may be picking up things and then leaving them in an area that it wasn't supposed to be in. So you could be finding what you need if you're checking every single aisle. So check every aisle and please take your time, because that's what keeps you less overwhelmed, is when you're not in a rush and you're really looking at everything and kind of evaluating, how can I use this in my home? Is this going to be good for my home? Is this as good for what I had on my list? So that would be like my number one thing. My other big thing is taking your time and checking every aisle. That I personally love and helps me the most, and honestly kind of correlates with the number 1 tip that I gave you guys, which was going in with a plan. And that one is making a Pinterest and mood board for things that I want to thrift. And there are a lot of items that I have in my house that were actually Pinterest and mood board ideas and inspo that I had, and when I saw them, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I found this. This was on Pinterest and I found it in my thrift store. This just gives you a lot of creativity and inspiration, and so when you see it, you're like, I know exactly how this can be used. I know exactly where I can put this in my house. Even if you don't know exactly where you can put it in your house, you have an image in the back of your mind and you're like, I can recreate that image. So that would be a big one for me, is how I've styled a lot of the things that I've found thrifted or secondhand or all that jazz, is making a Pinterest and mood board. I have done this and it significantly helps so much. And so I'm not overlooking items that, a lot of times if you don't do this, you're overlooking items that you actually could use to decorate with, because you haven't had the inspiration or creativity to like really form something together. And so this really does help with not overlooking gems. And I have a lot of items in my house that I probably would have overlooked if I didn't make a Pinterest board out of them. Another thing I would say to this on the opposite side is to, because you're making a Pinterest board and you're styling and everything, this kind of gives you a box to fit your style, whether that is home decor or also clothes in, and it keeps you from cluttering your wardrobe. And I think a lot of times we go into a thrift store and we just pick things up and then we never use them, but it wasn't even our style, but we picked it up because we just wanted to pick it up. So I think that the Pinterest board helps us gives inspiration and creativity, but it also inspires us to stay within boundary lines of, I know I'm going to use this for this purpose, or I know I'm not going to use this for this purpose, so I'm going to pass it up today. And most of the time, how I kind of figure out if I really want this item or not, and this goes for shopping in general, is if I'm kind of on the fence or on the line with it, I will put it in my cart and kind of shop around, and instead of making like extremely impulse decisions, I'll put it in my cart, I'll shop around, look at other things, and if I'm still like, I love this item, I'm so glad I picked it up, or if I'm like, you know what, I don't really think I want this anymore, I'll put it back, because I've had the time to think about it, and I'm not making an impulse decision, but I'm actually thinking about my decision that I'm making and my purchase. And even though a lot of times we think this purchase is justifiable because it costs less, I think that we can use it costs less, but also taking our time to really think about it by putting it in our cart and kind of finishing our shopping, looking around and taking our time really helps to buy something with intention instead of just impulse buying. We live in a society where it's very fast paced, it's very impulse. If we want it, we get. There's not really intention and time put into making those decisions. So this really helps me keep me grounded and really helps me not just be frugal, but really be mindful when I'm making purchases, even if they are cheap. And I think we can fall into a trap of, because it's cheaper, I can buy it and it's okay if I don't use it. But I think that that's actually an oxymoron to thrifting and slow living and fashion, and we should be mindful of how we are purchasing things. If we're not going to use them, then why would we buy it in the first place and leave it for the next person that's going to buy it? So that is my last tip of thrifting well, thrifting like a pro, finding gems and getting away from being overwhelmed when you walk into a thrift store. I know that thrifting is not everybody's cup of tea, but this is how I have been able to add character and hominess and coziness to my home with a budget, because we know that not everybody can afford new all the time. And this is how I've been able to really figure out and curate my style within my home, even though it's small, on a budget. And I've been able to do it weekly because I'm saving money and it's sustainable. And I just love it. It's so fun. There's something so fun about going into a thrift store with a plan and finding that item that was on your list. There is just something so fun about it. And when you find it, you're like, I literally found my treasure. And so I have plenty of items like that. I hope this video helped you guys if you are a beginner at thrifting. I'm so excited that you chose to watch this video today. If you love thrifting and fashion, homemaking, slow living, living with intention, all that jazz, make sure to subscribe and like this video, because that is what we are all about here at this channel. And I love to share all my thrift with me's, thrifting gems that I find weekly. So make sure to subscribe, like this channel, and let me know in the comments if you've ever been thrifting before or if you haven't been thrifting, and what is your favorite item that you have thrifted ever in your life if you love thrift. I'm so glad that you guys clicked on this video today, and I hope this helped you. And if not, I hope it encourages you to go thrifting this week and find some gems. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.